Greetings everyone, welcome back to my sketchbook. In the previous video, which is still part of Shark Week as is today, although I'm running out of time, I would have talked a little bit about Joe Satriani and Surfing with the Alien, that album, and would have shown you this cover, of course, that has the Silver Surfer flying out of the hand of Galactus. Now, of course, I would have shown you this comic, which is pretty cool. This one's from 1987. I bought this new at the time, and yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Silver Surfer should have been involved, of course, with the Infinity Wars, but you know, whatever deals that Disney had with Fox and Sony, well, everything wasn't solidified at that time. And as a part of Shark Week, as it's closing out, I would have drawn this version of the Fantastic Four as sharks, just for fun. So there you go. You have the Invisible Woman, you have Mr. Fantastic, you have the Thing, Hammerhead Shark, that's kind of funny, and you have the Torch, or, you know, the Human Torch, but they're sharks, right? So I figure for this one, just for fun, I'm going to doodle a version of a shark to finish off Shark Week. See if I can figure out Galactus. And this could be messy, and that's fine. I mean, I don't expect everything in my sketchbook to be awesome. I just expect everything that comes out of my head to be kind of awesome. Just kidding. Anyway, so let's see if we can figure out a shark version of Galactus. And I don't know if this is going to go the way that I want it to. I mean, I do have this that I could kind of use as a reference, and I do have that comic off to one side. I have kind of an idea. I mean, this being has some unique qualities. But what if, in that odd universe, Galactus was a shark and had to deal with the Silver Surfer? Anyway, who knows? So let's see what we can do. Yeah, it's a weird concept. Oh, let's try dipping this again here. And we'll zoom in just a little bit. All right. See if that locks down in any way. Okay. So, where will I place what and where? Well, and I'm not going to draw this exactly like Galactus in the comics because, well, this is going to be a shark. Or kind of, I don't know. I'm not there yet. I do feel bad that, oh, and I'll mention this as well. I actually saw the new Fantastic Four movie. And the thing that I was going to mention about feeling bad about is that there were people that were all ready to hate the movie before they even saw it. And I suspect that a lot of people that complained about it probably didn't read many of the comics. And some of the complaints that they had were so outrageous. You know, I think, you know, they're worried about identity politics and Disney being woke or whatever. Perhaps I'll do a little more of a chat on that, a spoiler-free chat about it. But anyway, I won't ramble on too much about that in this one. Maybe the next one I'll do another kind of Fantastic Four related thing. There's a lot of bits and pieces of Galactus that doesn't really make sense, because we're introduced to lots of different lowercase g gods in the Marvel universe. And, you have Titans and those kind of known creatures. And then you would have like Celestials and those kind of known creatures. There are some that are older than the known galaxy universe. And that kind of stuff's interesting too. Because, I mean, we look at time differently because we only have our world to compare things to. And, we're bold enough to assume that we should be able to name things within our own view of space. My oh my, I don't know where this is going. And my rambling too, but a Galactus shark, huh? Okay, well, still playing around. Now you'd think that a being with the strength and power, that they could find a way to control their hunger. And most of the things that Galactus would do in the devouring of worlds is not done with spite. Far from it. Whatever sort of version of conscious or conscience that we have, he doesn't suffer with. He's not conflicted by feeling sad. He's hungry all the time. So when he eats, he's not eating because he's being spiteful. And again, I don't really know where this is going. I'm going to have these pectoral fins become this. Kind of a mechanical. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like this that much. Because right now, it seems as if I'm drawing the horns on his helmet anyway. This is funny. Perhaps the head-on version might be the ruining of that. Let's try another look at Galactus the shark and sort of make him a biomechanical thing still. But yeah, there's a part of that I kind of like. If that's his body, like we're just using his head. Does that make sense? This would be that dorsal fin. Okay, so we're not as worried about the rest of his body. Let us try, which way shall we have him swim? Actually, let's flip this around. And we'll use this. And don't worry, we'll try to figure out a way to clean that up in a moment. And then what would be the kind of like horns on the side of his head where his ears would kind of be, that is where we have these fins. If that makes sense. Of course, we can kind of widen them out a little bit in some parts of it. Now, Shark Week to me kind of represents conservation in some ways, but in another way, a sensationalized version of something that we all have certain fears about. And that I don't think I have a great appreciation for, mainly because the creatures themselves, we shouldn't really be hunting them down the way that we do, of course, but they shouldn't really cross paths with us that much. And when you watch those shows, you see that they're really working hard at getting close to them, observing them. And I wonder how much those animals can learn from hanging out with those that observe them. I know that's a ridiculous concept to sort of bring up, but you know, if they see humans that'll feed them, does that, you know, is that something that they can learn? Like, are they putting us at risk by doing shark tours? Anyway, just rambling. Now, of course, we have to have teeth in our Galactus shark. So I don't know if this is cleaning up a little bit. It seems kind of interesting. You know, imagine a shark having the power to make a surfer to go to underwater worlds to be devoured by this like super megalodon thing. That seems interesting. A water world. I don't know if I want the eye like that. You might be looking at a world's first here, people. Could you imagine? Anyway, so sometimes when you think of other world things, and getting back to the movie, it has a certain aesthetic to it, kind of like from the 1950s and a little bit of the 1960s. And when if you're familiar with like in the MCU, where time management takes place, it has a similar kind of look to it, weirdly enough. Where Loki ends up looking at things and kind of taking care of timelines. Anyway, I don't want to give anything away just in case people haven't really seen those shows. I think there's aspects of this that I kind of like. And as I said, I don't think this exists anywhere else. Now the main body of the shark, let's square up certain parts of it. In our efforts. But the neat thing about having alternate universes is that you don't have to live with the known things. Like you can be open to those changes. Now, something about this fin I kind of like. I'm not going to drag this out super long. There's no need for a strange idea like this. But let's say parts of this tail would would have like flex points and different aesthetics. Interesting. Interesting. And because I don't want to run out of too much room here with my Galactus Shark. My Megalodon Galactus Shark. Fan fin. Oh, fan fin there. Let's go with another one here. Something that's always amazing with how human beings end up designing things. So now we look at stuff through wind tunnels, but we also play around. And when I say we, I don't really mean me. I'm not involved in that stuff. The idea of using computer-aided design and even AI. I'm not a fan of AI, but I do understand that you can manage time quite well with it. One of the problems of AI, to me, though, is that it composites a lot of great ideas. I'm not going to say stealing. Inspired, sure. No, well, let's say it's kind of like stealing, because it doesn't actually say, well, okay, so I took this idea from this person, I'm going to credit them. The internet is full of AI art, and it's unfair the way some people will make it seem as if, because they gave prompts, that art that's being produced by the machine is something that they can license and trademark. And there's something about that seems kind of deceitful. Not fair for me to say, because as somebody who picks up a pen and does something on paper, I'm inspired by things all the time. And you don't get to hear me always reference, oh, I like this from this, and that's why I'm making it look that way. And maybe that's something I need to get over. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of AI so-called art. To me, I prefer there to be an element of failure in some things. Sort of like a lack of perfection. And by the way, what I'm doing here in my mind is that I'm letting these be sort of like, well, you'd have like fuselage and all that kind of stuff, but I want these to be kind of like directed ports for jets or something. I don't know. This is just wackiness. I'm not really giving functionality to everything that I'm doing with this. I'm just squaring up certain things, adding round things to others. I would think, for the most part, I don't think I've drawn Galactus a whole lot. I can remember being a kid kind of like doodling stuff like that, much like now, but I don't really think I spent much time with Galactus. I would draw the Silver Surfer. That was cool. But yeah, no, Galactus. Like, he's got such a busy thing with him that it's very difficult to just keep replicating that uniform, that costume. So I think even in the comic book world, you mainly get just like headshots or his hand. He's that big that you wouldn't just keep drawing panel after panel of a highly detailed being like him. It would be a bit much. And again, I'm just adding more elements. And then we'll kind of come to an end, because I don't really want these videos to go much more than like that half an hour. And again, this might be a world's first. I don't know if anyone's ever drawn Galactus as a Megalodon. But this Shark Fest week has been kind of a strange one for me. And I sort of talked about it before, and I made like a weird little video and stuff like that, and I actually moved that video to private, mainly just because it was just a thought sort of dumping that I had. It was about Ozzy Osbourne's passing, and some of my thoughts on that. To me, what makes Ozzy such an interesting character is that, and I mentioned this to a friend, it was so much about his resilience of just keeping going. And but that wouldn't have been easy for, you know, the people that love him. There was always an element of, I don't want to call it self-destructive, because in a lot of ways I think he was like a beautifully good-natured agent of chaos. Like, I think he would have gone out of his way to get a laugh out of you by doing something outrageous. I've never talked to Ozzy Osbourne. I was in the same room as Ozzy Osbourne, but I've never talked to him. I was in the same space. I've seen, you know, live performances. But I can honestly say that I would only really know whatever version of Ozzy Osbourne really just from lyrics, a few like interviews, that sort of thing. So I did not know Ozzy. You know, you watch shows, and of course they're edited down. And even then, you don't really get to know the person and what it was like to be around them. So, just some rambling, that's all I did. I'm almost done here. Just sort of outlining a couple of things just for detail's sake with my Galactus shark. And maybe in the next video or whatever, I'll do a spoiler-free kind of review of the movie that I've seen, and just sort of talk about concepts without really getting into details from the movie, because you know, I think people do kind of spoil movies in their reviews, and they put up their warnings that, you know, hey, here's your warning. I'm going to wreck something. And I think when some people do that, I mean, yeah, they authentically are ruining some part of the movie. And I'm not going to do that just in case, you know, some of you haven't seen it. But I'm happy to talk about things that would relate to the movie, just so you can kind of piece together a couple of things on your own and say, well, I can understand why certain choices might be made. How about that? So I don't know. We'll see. I don't follow a script, by the way. And it's unnatural for me to just sort of talk the way I do when I'm drawing pictures. So we are over the 30 minutes now, and I'm just adding unnecessary but fun little details of my mechanical like structured suit. I'll darken this part here. But how about this, though? Before I go, let us add just a bit more to that fin. And this is how we'll end Shark Week. Just because. And let's look at this thing once again, because as you can see, and like I did talk about this, how busy this thing is. And if you drew panel after panel of something like that, it is just, it's too much. It's too much. Oh, look at that. You got the full body here or here. But still, you just don't want to have this detail all the time. So, I mean, look at all the talk bubbles. It just saves you so much by, you know how big this being is, so you don't really have to suffer so much. Anyway, so I do enjoy that kind of stuff when you see it. I'm going to dip the pen here. And yeah, well, I will call this the Megalodon, and we shall call it, or maybe it could have been Mega or MEGalactus. That would have been better, right? Instead of like, yeah. You know what? It's my sketchbook. I can do whatever I like. It's too bad I just came up with that as I looked at it. Man, what a cool name. Congratulations to me. Congratulations to you for hanging out. Oh, you know what? I'm still ruining it. So, you have the mag. You have... But how would I do the name, though? let's just put it this way for now. I like it. I see the potential in it. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce, although you saw it happen for the first time in our world, the MEGalactus. MEGalactus? I tried, people, I tried. So, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and, you know, we'll chat soon about this and the Fintastic Four. So, thanks for hanging out, and hopefully we'll see you at some point in the near future. All right. Ciao for now.